Rockets Mavs, a super interesting game. The Mavs gave the Rockets a really good fight in this one, down obviously most of their starting center rotation. They doubled the Rockets all over the floor. They were trapping KD in ball screens. They were doubling both Kevin Durant and Şengün on most of their post-ups and ISOs. This is something Dallas has been doing since their bigs have gone out of the rotation to try to manufacture stops. It's been kind of like a base scheme for them in a lot of ways. They forced a bunch of turnovers, especially in that first quarter. Houston really struggled with it. Live ball turnovers that led to runouts the other way. They scored 26 points on them and transition running. Transition defense has been a little bit of an issue for Houston. We'll talk about that later on. And then PJ Washington torched them. Bunch of floaters in the middle of their zone, did damage in transition, did some damage one-on-one, drew some fouls on Alperen Şengün. As a team, I thought they drove closeouts really well. That's been kind of a little subplot for Dallas. They've been driving closeouts well off of the perimeter with their athleticism. And Houston finally got a game where they didn't shoot the ball well. Houston, for all the talk about their jump shooting before the season, ever since those first couple of games, they've been shooting the shit out of the basketball to start the year. And last night, the Rockets were just 5 for 26 on catch and shoot threes. And many of those misses were from guys who will have cold nights, like Alperen Şengün, Josh Okogie, Amen Thompson, Jason Tate, and Aaron Holiday were combined 2 for 12 on mostly open looks. And they will have nights like that over the course of the season, right? So it gave us an opportunity to see how the Rockets could manufacture offense in an ugly game. And the short answer is 3 things: tough buckets over the top from their stars, offensive rebounds, and cuts. They absolutely bludgeoned Dallas on the glass, especially in the first half. They had 13 offensive rebounds in just 24 minutes in the first half. This is continuing a season-long trend where they have been rebounding a preposterous 42% of their own misses, which leads the NBA. They also scored 24 points on cuts last night. This was a season high. This has been a trend throughout the season. As a team, the Rockets are averaging the second most points on cuts in the entire NBA behind the Denver Nuggets. This is an advantage of their team, especially in their 2 big configurations. They have guys who can pass in the middle of the floor when they catch right there in the kind of paint outside the restricted area. And they've got a bunch of guys who can score on cuts and on flashes. Some people call it teeing up. It's the idea of like when the ball is either being driven baseline or in a post up, flashing right to the front of the rim where you can catch and finish with a little floater or a layup, something along those lines, right? 24 of them last night. Most of them dunks for Amen Thompson and Tari Eason. Couple easy ones early. We got to see some really interesting 3-man sequences from Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün, and Kevin Durant to start the game. First possession of the game, cleared side, or they run a pick and roll off of the left side with Amen Thompson in the left corner. Kevin Durant dribbles off the Şengün screen, 2 on the ball with KD, pocket pass to Şengün in the middle of the floor, lob, Amen Thompson dunk. That's the sequence we talked about all summer that I look at as like the tic-tac-toe sequence of Kevin Durant and pick and roll that I think could be really deadly. They get a dunk out of it early. Very next possession, they run a horn set. On that horn set, Amen Thompson enters the ball to Şengün and then goes and sets a pin down for Kevin Durant. And when he sets the pin down for Kevin Durant comes off of the dribble handoff with Şengün. And when he got the ball back to Amen Thompson, both guys run with KD off of the DHO, and Şengün has inside position on PJ Washington. He just slips right to the basket. Easy bounce pass. Another dunk to start the game. So 2 easy dunks to start the game off of 3-man sequences from their 3 best players. And then throughout the game, the guys just made good reads in the middle of the floor constantly, with guys making good active cuts along the baseline and again flashing up right above the charge circle to make themselves available. Like KD gets doubled on a post up, Şengün cuts into the gap, easy 2. Şengün gets doubled on a post up. Amen Thompson tees up, flashes right to the front of the rim, little easy floater. Steven Adams catches the ball on a blitz. KD comes off the ball screen. They blitz. Steven Adams short rolls. When he catches, Tari Eason cuts along the baseline. Perfect drop off. Dunk. At the end of the game, Şengün just absolutely fries Daniel Gafford one-on-one and gets a little left shoulder hook. So the next time he catches out on the perimeter, they throw a double team. This time D'Lo kind of from the left-hand side, and it leaves Josh Okogie wide open, cutting on the baseline. They hit him. He gets a foul. This is an excellent way for them to space the floor when shots aren't falling. Size and athleticism, cutting along the baseline, good little bits of shot making in the middle of the floor, and as a team, really good passing in the middle of the floor. Again, Rockets, the second best cutting team here in the early part of the NBA season. Like, I know that Dallas has just kind of been doubling everyone as a base scheme for a little while now, but a lot of this is the predicament that the Rockets will put you in. Like, if you leave them one-on-one, their guys are going to fry you. Like, Şengün was killing PJ Washington. He had a really easy one in crunch time where he just backed him down on the right block for a little left shoulder hook. Like that easy one he got on Daniel Gafford. Like, if you let him attack one-on-one, he's probably going to score. Kevin Durant got left on an island dribbling above the break twice in the mid-fourth quarter, and he hit 2 pull-up threes. That's something that's going to happen potentially when you leave Kevin Durant on an island. Some of this is the reality that the Rockets shot creators are really damn good. And so, yeah, Dallas may be doubling as a base scheme, but teams are going to generally have that decision to make. Let these guys cook one-on-one where they could fry you, or send the second body where they get these tic-tac-toe passing sequences and they get a lot of dunks. And then even on the ones they miss, like there's a lot of them where it's like, just get the ball up on the rim. Get the ball up on the rim, and some like Clint Capella or Steven Adams is going to grab that offensive rebound and dunk it or put it back in. But again, like when I look at their catch and shoot shooting, it's more likely than not going to be at the very least inconsistent and more likely not very good through the large sample. There's a lot of guys there that have been shooting a little above their pay grade to start the season that'll probably cool off a little bit. Again, they're either going to be a middle of the pack jump shooting team that's very hot and cold, or they're going to be a bottom of the pack jump shooting team. So with that being the case, their ability to convert that attention into cuts and offensive rebounds is going to be a big part of how they'll be able to beat some of the more aggressive defensive schemes that they will inevitably face along the way. Couple little notes from this game. This is the stuff that I've had my eye on throughout the season. Turnovers and transition defense. Like, they had 6 first quarter turnovers. A lot of those were live ball turnovers that led to easy buckets the other way. They have the 6th worst turnover percentage in the entire NBA to start the year. So turnovers have been a little bit of an issue. Kind of predictable with the ball handling issues that they have. Again, they make up for some of that margin with their offensive rebounding. Again, when you're grabbing 42% of your own misses, that manufactures margin where you've been losing margin on turnovers. And then transition defense, just getting beat down the floor. Şengün got beat just on a straight line sprint by PJ Washington late in the game for a dunk. As a team, they're a little slow-footed. This is also exacerbated by the turnovers, right? The turnovers lead to a lot of live ball, 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s that I don't care how hard you sprint back. They're difficult to guard, right? And so as a team, they're 22nd right now in transition points allowed per game per synergy. So those are the couple of like little red flags that have shown up early in the season, but everything else is looking super strong for them in the early going. They're first in offensive rating overall. Their defense is trending up. They're up to 9th in defensive rating, and they're 2nd in net rating. I think Reed Shepherd has been pretty good in the last 2 games. He had a bunch of threes in the Boston game. Last night, just some quality shot creation off the bounce. And then after a brutal start to the season where Tari Eason looked bad, he's been fantastic in the 4-game winning streak. He's shooting 65% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. He had 3 more of them last night, a couple of big corner threes. And he's been filling up the box score in his minutes per 36. If you take his production and expand it out to 36 minutes, again, I always use that as just kind of like a way to like provide some perspective on how bench players in smaller roles produce relative to how many minutes they have, right? He's getting 7.2 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 2.4 stocks, 1.2 steals and 1.2 blocks per 36 minutes during the 4-game winning streak. So really nice play from Tari Eason. Rockets are looking really good here. Couple of possessions, again, like that little step back from Shea over Amen Thompson on the left elbow. They beat OKC if he misses that. Jabari Smith, that wide open catch and shoot 3 on the left wing against the Pistons in their 2nd game. He hits that. They're 6-0 right now. And a lot of winnable games in their next 7 too, if you look at their schedule, especially with Cleveland being without Darius Garland. So look for the Rockets to get a solid foundation in the standings in the Western Conference over the course of the next couple of weeks.